Adu. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Gomwa Mampong community in Central Region inundated by flood waters, with over 150 houses submerged and main highway linking the area to Cape Coast blocked. Also on the program, Ghana, a High Court hearing criminal case against minority leader and former Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Kesolato forcing to deliver crucial ruling on 4 applications, including an order for a mistrial. Much later, a petition requesting Parliament to investigate Cecilia Dapar Cash saga suffers a setback as private citizen injuncts Parliament from probing the matter. And later in sports, crucial game for the Black Stars of Ghana as they play Mali in World Cup qualifier today. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, says 3 houses have collapsed due to the flooding situation at Gomwa Mampong in the Central Region. Over 150 houses were flooded on Wednesday at Gomwa Mampong after the contractor constructing the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway diverted the course of River Ayensu in the Gomwa East District of that region. River Ayensu is one of the biggest rivers in the Central Region, which starts from Eastern Region and crosses Kaswa Cape Coast Highway at Kaswa Otreko to the sea. Some residents told 3FM the overflow of the river flooded their community.
Says I am to mean a bridge no more yen. Quine what the man knows, sir. In soon as also into no quine, no sun internet across them. The may you know I had them. Yeah, catch up by so much. No more to Mukra monster bands and I was away and or pebble in the moon. Only the name soon and the Sammy I do the only I say, no by a copy tama, on by a quino every year. And sooner I don't die, was saying, young crewman, yeah, mo, yeah, bro, yeah, weddy. Says the way we were pair for quanum. More quine and sooner than Madame, a person free, where's to a rubber phone. It's a rubber phone to my on to my ham, talk about them back and kind back.
You heard some residents of the Central Region explaining how the flood waters have destroyed things in the area and impeding their daily activities. We can listen to Gomwa East NADMO Director Robert Nana Hakman, who spoke to journalists earlier.
To your child viewers, what is happening is very simple, but it's a disastrous. Yesterday, we had a distress call from one of the communities, that is Adeuka, that their homes have been taken away by the water or the river, that is River Ayensu. River Ayensu is a river that has its bank all the way from Eastern Region. So I think it rained heavily over there, and the flow came all the way to Ocheko, and that has resulted in the heavy flooding that we are seeing now. Yesterday, as at yesterday, by 10 p.m., we have almost 150 houses, 50 acres of rice farm, 16 acres of fish pond that has been submerged. In fact, it has been taken away totally. Yes, currently we have 3 houses that have been collapsed. But thank God, yesterday when we came, we gave them that everybody should evacuate or should leave his or her house. And thank God they did that. Thanks to the Church of Pentecost and the Roman Catholic Church that gave us their churches that we were able to accommodate those that we evacuated from their various houses. Now, the road or the current bridge, as we speak now, it's a death trap. So we are appealing to the motorists, kindly desist from using Winba Junction to Kaswa Road. You can use it by when you get to Winba Junction. On your right, there's a diversion sign there. You go through Winba Junction, you go through Jahade, Jenjade, Kwekrum, then to Akweti Junction. That is coming from Cape Coast, Takrade, Apam, or Mankesim. When you are coming from Swed Road, there's a junction called Awamro. You can use it and you enter Porting Junction.
And you had the Gomoa East NADMO Director, Robert Nana Hockman. George Coining is our man on the ground. He joins us live on the phone. George, tell us the situation on the ground.
Okay, Beatrice, thanks for having a good afternoon to our cherished listeners. So, the truth of the matter is, the contractor working on the Kasua Cape Coast Highway actually diverted, the Yensu River from the bigger bridge to the smaller one. So, the water actually overflooded and actually caused some sort of distraction. So, the part of the smaller bridge have caved in. And now this morning, the water levels have receded. The fact is that the bigger bridge has been opening, so water is actually passing through this side. So let's say by the close of tomorrow, this place or the route will be more traveled. That's if the portion of the smaller bridge that has caved in is worked upon. And that is what the minister has told, the Central Regional Minister, Jasna Marigold Aston. She is hopeful that by the close of tomorrow, the bridge will be more traveled. But what she really wants done as soon as possible is directional routes. She spoke to the highways director in her region that they should ensure that all these directional roads that are being used now are more travel. So she's hopeful that vehicles can ply this route by the end of tomorrow.
But at the moment, as we speak, what is the traffic situation, and also how this has affected daily activities?
So if you're coming from Accra and heading towards Cape Coast, this is a route that you cannot pass. So they are directional routes. What that means is that maybe if you're supposed to use, let's say, an hour to your destination, maybe you can have an additional 30 or 40 minutes added to, because that very route has been diverted. So you're just going to prolong your driving hours until some intervention is brought here.
Briefly before you go, George, for those who have been temporarily displaced, I know we heard the NADMO director there, what's in for them?
So according to the Central Regional Minister, she's liaising with NADMO to ensure some mattresses, food, and maybe tents are provided to these displaced residents. If I'm told that it's 150 of them or even more. So some materials, like I mentioned, will be given to them, and so she's liaising with the NADMO director to ensure that happens. And for the residents as well, they feel the contractor didn't give them prior notice. Maybe they could have, prepared or left the place or whatever. But what their complaint is that they should have been given, prior information by the contractor, in situations like this. So that's the major worry.
Thank you very much, George Coining, reporting live from the Central Region, following the flooding situation in that part of the country. Now, a private citizen, Derek Edujemfi, has filed an injunction against the petition filed by lawyer Martin Pebu, Dr. Adam Bona, and over 100 Ghanaians for the Speaker to set up a committee to probe the Cecilia Dapa saga. Among others, the petitioner is seeking a true and proper interpretation of the law to establish whether or not Parliament has the power to cause a probe into the Cecilia Dapa saga. And Sarah Pinko has details of that. She joins us live in the studio. Sarah, what more can you tell us from what you know?
So, Beatrice, the plaintiff is seeking 8 reliefs. And so, because it's a lot, we'll just take about 3. The first one says a declaration that on a true and proper interpretation of Articles 88.3, 88.4, 103.1, 103.3, and 93.2 of the 1992 Constitution, the Speaker of Parliament and or Parliament of the Republic of Ghana has no authority to direct or compel the Attorney General of the Republic to investigate and or prosecute an alleged criminal offences. Now let's take the 6.6 of the relief, and it says a consequential order restraining the Speaker of Parliament of Ghana and or the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana from any way purporting to investigate, direct, and or interfere with the exercise of the Attorney General's exclusive constitutional mandate to investigate and or prosecute an alleged criminal offense. Now, the point 7 says a further consequential order restraining the Speaker of Parliament of Ghana and or the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana from any way purporting to investigate, direct, and or interfere with the exercise of the exclusive statutory mandate of the Economic and Organized Crime Office to investigate or prosecute economic and organized crimes.
Thank you very much, Sarah Pinko, bringing us details of that petition injuncting Parliament from probing the Cecilia Dapa case. Now, meanwhile, 5 individuals have petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Raj, to investigate the same former Sanitation Minister, Cecilia Dapa, for allegedly acquiring assets disproportionate to her income. The petitioners are calling for a thorough examination of Cecilia Dapa's finances. The 5 petitioners are Ms. Thompson of Asepa, Al Hassan Kwadjo Beidu, Bernard Mona, Ransford Entry, and Joyce Aticho. In that request on May 20, the petitioners urged Shraj to scrutinize Mrs. Dapa's assets, which include over $1 million US dollars, 300,000 euros, over 3 million Ghana cedis, and bank accounts in both cedis and dollars. And we have one of the petitioners with us, Bernard Mona. He joins us live on the phone. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Beatrice.
What's really the end goal in this? Because the special prosecutor and Yoko do not seem to have given us any proof, as it were, that there was any illegality committed by Cecilia Dapa.
First, good afternoon to you and to your listeners globally. And let me indicate that it was not the special prosecutor or Yoko that revealed that some monies, some paraphernalia, and some ornaments were taken from the home of Cecilia Dapa. She, Somoto, reported the conduct of her house helps that they have stolen quantums of money from her apartment. And that led the police to do investigation. It was when the charge sheet was eventually noticed by one of you journalists that the special prosecutor took special interest in the matter and decided to do investigations, first impounding a home, and of course, Cecilia Dapa went on to put in a resignation letter. Now, beyond the monies that Cecilia Dapa claimed that they were stolen, is that several quantities of monies in various denominations and various currencies were also found in her 3 houses in Cantonment, Sesano, and of course in Abelempe, where in one of the places they found 590,000 Ghana dollars. In another place they found in excess of 2 billion Ghana cedis. Her explanation has been that these monies, $800,000 of the money was proceeds from her late brother's business. A check reveals that the late brother's business collapsed about 15 years ago, and therefore proceeds could not have been coming from a collapsed business.
So, Mr. Mona, sorry to butt in here, but the import of the question is that Yoko is supposed to be investigating financial crimes. Even if they were not the organization that started it, Yoko doesn't seem to have given us any indication that it found...
Yoko says that based on what the Office of the Special Prosecutor brought to them, they also sought advice from the Attorney General. And the Attorney General advised them against any investigation, and they had to return the docket to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. That is the Attorney General's advice. And this was a state institution taking a matter to a state institution. We are individuals who are perturbed about the conduct of public officials, the integrity that they bring to the office, and that in this country where money laundering is a crime, in this country where drug money is a crime, in this country where people must live within their means, office holders, within the period of their office holding, can acquire assets beyond their reach. It borders on one, the opaque manner in which they obtain that money, and you expect Shira to investigate to find out where all these monies have been coming from.
Have you received
that the explanation of Cecilia Dapa does not match the volumes of money and other assets that she has. It's in itself a cause for investigation.
Have you?
Of course, you did not expect the Attorney General, who is an appointee of Mr. President, and Mr. President, in accepting the resignation of Cecilia Dapa, firmly said that she knows that Cecilia Dapa will be vindicated.
Mr. Mona,
one of the ways to vindicate is to let the Attorney General quash the case.
Mr. Mona, before you go, I want to find out whether you've received any response from Shraj as regards when work will begin on this petition. I suppose you've already submitted.
It was just yesterday we sent our petition. I think that it is too early for me to expect if they will respond maybe today or tomorrow, or I can give them up to next week. But I think that it is too early for me to get the response. They have received our petition, and in responding, they may invite us to provide them with other evidences that we have. Two, they may also invite the accused in our petition to also come and justify some of the claims that we have made or deny the claims we have made. And then they can give a report, which report, I guess, will be made available to you as well.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, Bernard Mona. He's one of 5 petitioners asking Shraj to investigate the Cecilia Dapa cash issue. Now, the High Court hearing the criminal case against Minority Leader and former Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Kesel Atu-Forson is set to deliver 4 separate rulings. This follows applications filed by the first accused person, Dr. Kesel Atu-Forson, and the third accused, Richard Jakpa. The two are urging the court to declare a mistrial in the wake of the leaked audio tape in which the Attorney General was allegedly heard coaching Richard Jakpa to give a false testimony to aid the prosecutor's case against Atu-Forson. Dr. Atu-Forson and Richard Jakpa are on trial for allegedly willfully causing financial loss to the state to the tune of 2.37 million euros to the state, now through a contract to purchase 200 ambulances for the Ministry of Health, among others. And we'll be going to court shortly, where our correspondent Lord Edwasare is standing by to bring us all the details. As and when we do have him, we'll bring you that. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Now, on the aftermath of the devastating fire that engulfed numerous wooden structures at Circle Ecomog in Accra, the community is grappling with extensive destruction. The blaze, which erupted around 4 p.m. yesterday, has left countless structures completely burnt down, leaving residents in shock and mourning. As the residents come to terms with the scale of the tragedy, they are faced with the daunting task of counting their losses. Many are left in pain and sorrow as they assess the damage and mourn the loss of their homes and belongings. Godwin Asidiba has been to this community. He joins us live on the phone. Godwin, tell us what you can see.
Right. It's a day filled of pain for residents here. Yesterday, after the incident happened at about 4 p.m. thereabout, it had to, burn heavily. So about 3 hours before the Ghana National Fire Service team came in and they were able to douse the fire. And today, the atmosphere looks quite calm, but residents are still down in the dumps. They are still trying to come to facts with the terms that this indeed has happened to them. Most of those who have their shops mounted here have lost almost everything. I can count over hundreds of shops that are reckoned to be burnt down totally to ashes. For those that have been engaging, they have raised concerns about the fact that it might be as a result of a gas explosion. Allegedly, that is what they have been saying, even though we are yet to hear from the team from the Ghana National Fire Service to know indeed what has happened. But a new development coming in indicates that some women who live here have lost 2 babies, toddlers, who have also been burnt to, an extent where the babies are not being recognized. One of the stories that I was told was that a lady had left her toddler in the room and was going out to get some mobile money done. And by the time she returned, the fire had engulfed the entire space and she wasn't able to get hold of her baby. So unfortunately, the baby died. This morning as well, a team from Gridco is around. It was running in the news that some areas didn't have power the whole of last night till this morning. After the incident happened, the team from Gridco are here to resolve the challenge. And the head of communications there, Jefa Bampo, spoke to me and indicated that it's time that we keep on hammering on the fact that it is not okay for people to live under cables of electricity. So she mentioned that if the government can take the opportunity to stop these people from remounting their structures back here, it will go a long way to help them and also help the country as well. She also mentioned that it will take some time for the team from Gridco to be able to reconnect the cables. But at the moment, as I am speaking to you, I can clearly see quite a number of them who are around the place where some of the cables have torn due to the heat coming from the fire. And they are here getting it done. So maybe in an hour or two, they might be able to be through with that exercise here. And some of the areas that were affected that does not still have power till date or till this time, they'll be able to get their power back.
Indeed, thank you very much, Godwin Asidiba, bringing us that information as well, that it seems 2 babies might have died in yesterday's fire incident. We'll keep an eye on that and bring you the latest on it. Now, chronic kidney patients in need of dialysis treatment at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital in the Central Region are paying for the full cost of the service despite the government free dialysis policy. Now, the policy targeted at patients under 18 years and 60 years and above came into effect on June 1. But patients who visited the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital for dialysis sessions have been left disappointed as they still pay for the services. Thomas Khan is our reporter in the Central Region. He joins us live on the phone. Thomas, have authorities explained why they are yet to begin the subsidized treatment?
Yeah, so we tried to get some authorities to speak on record, but they declined. But at the unit, we gathered that the hospital management or the hospital authorities are yet to get any directive, official communication to roll out this free dialysis policy. And that is why they have not begun implementing it. This is exactly what the situation is here at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. And the patients here are still disappointed that after the announcement, they were hoping that they will come to the hospital to enjoy the free dialysis. But unfortunately, this is not happening. And again, the intervention that was also talked about to cushion those who are within the age bracket that were exempted, they still have to pay at full cost at the moment.
Unfortunately, let's listen to some of the patients you spoke to, Khan.
I was happy about it, but unfortunately, when I came for section today, I was charged. So the government should come out and tell us whether we are going to pay or we are not going to pay. Because fortunately, I brought money today. Like, how will I react to it? Because who is there told me it is not free. So I've paid money right now. Paid money. Yeah. So the government should like that aspect of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you heard a patient who went to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital hoping to take advantage of free dialysis services, but telling our reporter Thomas Khan that he had to pay for it. Earlier, you heard Thomas Khan monitoring situation for us and telling us what he heard. Let's go to the Ashanti region where Ibrahim Abubakar is also standing by for us with some details. Ibrahim, what can you tell us?
Well, actually, the situation is not different as we reported in the Central region. It's the same here at Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, even though management has informed that they have received the directive to go ahead with the free dialysis session. They are yet to communicate with the renal unit. So we went to the renal unit and they said they've not gotten any information to that effect. And for that matter, all those who came there for dialysis session have been billed. So it's a bit of disappointment for the patient because some of them are saying if they had come here without the 400 plus cities to pay, then what would have happened? Because some of them thought that they were coming for the session for free, especially those within the age bracket of below 15 and above 60. And they were supposed to get 8 sessions free in a month. And within the 19 to 59 bracket, they were supposed to enjoy some form of subsidy, but all of them are paying in full. But the good news is that just some few seconds ago, I've seen the CEO of the hospital moving to the renal unit of the Confanochi. He said they've received that directive and they are going to communicate that to them. So hopefully those who come from now going, they will enjoy the free dialysis session. But we don't know whether those who have already paid will have to be reimbursed or not. We will engage him in some few minutes and maybe update our listeners in our subsequent bulletin.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar, reporting live from the Ashanti region. Now, the Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo Kweku, has been reassigned to head the training department of the election management body. A letter signed by the chairperson of the commission, Jean Mensah, instructed Mr. Kweku to hand over his current responsibilities to the deputy chairman in charge of operations, Samuel Tete. Let me bring you details of that letter. It says, I bring you warm greetings from the head office and trust this letter finds you well. I'm pleased to inform you of the Commission's decision to appoint you Director for Training at the head office. In this regard, you are by this letter transferred from the Electoral Services Department as the Director to head the Training Department. This appointment takes effect Monday, 1st July 2024. You are required to hand over the Commission's property in your custody to the Deputy Chairman Operations. We trust that you will work with management to ensure excellence in the activities of the Training Department and the Commission as a whole. Well, even though the EC is yet to name a replacement for Dr. Sribo Kweku, some media reports have suggested current EC Regional Director for the Ashanti region, Benjamin Banobio, as would be his successor. And also, social media is buzzing with the news. In a social media post, the NDC's Director of Elections, Dr. Manebwama, congratulated Mr. Banobio on his appointment. Let me read exactly what he said on his Facebook page. He said, welcome the Ashanti Regional Director of EC, Ben, as the new Director of Electoral Services. Welcome, Ben. So that's from the Director of Elections for the position and DC. And before we go, the Volta River Authority has revealed that it has suspended exporting power to Ghana's neighboring countries, including Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, and Burkina Faso. Director of Water Resources and Renewable Energy, Engineer Abdul Wahab, says although it is at a major revenue loss to the state, the directive has been carried out. Grace Hamwajiman joins us live with some more. Grace, can you tell us more about this development?
Yes, Beatrice. So the suspension of the export of power by the Volta River Authority is coming on the back of a directive by President Akufo-Addo in April, when the country was experiencing the peak of some power supply challenges, or what we call DINSO. So the Volta River Authority says they received a directive from the presidency, and because they have to comply, they've carried it out. He mentioned that it is coming at a great revenue loss for the country, but because of donor support and funding that comes from the World Bank, they are hoping that they are able to seal that loophole or that revenue loss that will come from the suspension. He tells us that they have carried out a directive since the beginning of last month, that is May.
Grace, very briefly, we also know that the VRA has been talking about its preparations as the rains set in. Give us details briefly.
Yes, Benjamin Wahab tells us that surprisingly, though the southern part of the country, Accra and other parts are receiving a lot of rainfall. Akonsomo and some areas do not receive that amount of rainfall. And so though they are prepared for the rainy season, they know that there's not going to be a likelihood of a major spillage like what happened last year that led to the loss of property and all the destruction that it came with. So they are ready for the rainy season because, in fact, their water level even keeps decreasing as opposed to the expectation that the water level will be increasing because of the rainfall.
Thank you very much, Grace Hamwajima, for bringing us those details. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Have a good afternoon.
On this frequency, 92.7 3FM.
Hello, good afternoon. It's time now for Business Daily. Coming up, Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU predicts persistent strength of US dollar despite minor gains in CD. We will bring you details. Also, construction of Ghana's first manganese refinery to begin in August. We'll hear from the Sector Minister Samuel Abu-Jinapor. These and many other stories lined up for you. I am Bismarck Kausa. Thanks for your company. We'll be back shortly. Thanks for your company. To our very first story, the US dollar continues to demonstrate resilience against the global currencies, with its value currently standing at 14 cedis 90 pesos in Ghana. According to the Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, despite expectations of a slowdown, the dollar's strength remains bolstered by robust US economic indicators and high policy rates. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more. The Economist Intelligence Unit, EIU, has projected a persistent strength of the US dollar, currently at 14 cedis 90 pesos. This resilience reflects the robustness of the US economy, which has defied high interest rates and market predictions of a significant slowdown. The strong US policy rates and investor anticipation of a delayed start to monetary easing have bolstered the dollar. Despite a slight easing in May 2023, the dollar remains above its long-term average, with other major currencies expected to show only minor gains before mid-2025. While the EIU anticipates a gradual weakening of the dollar from late 2024, the risks lean towards its continued strength. Efforts by the US to weaken its currency are likely to be ineffective. In Ghana, the cedi has seen a 0.41% gain against the dollar this week, attributed to reduced corporate demand for dollars and intervention by the Bank of Ghana. Currently, the cedi is trading at 14 cedis 90 pesos per US dollar at forex bureaus. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report. Moving on, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, has announced that the construction of Ghana's first manganese refinery will commence in August this year. This development is expected to add substantial value to Ghana's manganese resources, enhancing the country's position in the global manganese market. Samuel Abu-Jinapor made this announcement during the official opening of the 17th edition of the West African Mining and Power Conference and Exhibition held on Wednesday, June 5th in Accra.
We have therefore, through a public-private partnership, constructed a 400-kilogram capacity gold refinery to refine the gold we produce and work on a $450 million manganese refinery will commence in August. We are also in the process of enacting legislative instrument pursuant to Section 28 of the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation Act 2018, Act 976, to restrict the export of bauxite in its raw form. This will enable us leverage on our over 900 million metric tons of bauxite resources to build an integrated aluminium industry here in Ghana. In the area of local content and local participation, we are working with the Ghana Chamber of Mines to ensure that Ghanaians own and participate fully across the value chain of the mining industry.
Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Samuel Abujinapo there. President of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Beatrice Adu Awal, has underscored the need for mechanized agricultural systems in achieving the comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program. The program is a nationwide framework for accelerating broad-based economic growth and progress towards poverty reduction and food and nutrition security through an agric-led growth strategy. He made the call at the ongoing non-state actors workshop on the CAADP post-Malibu agenda in Accra.
Ladies and gentlemen, for Ghana to achieve some of the objectives of GADE, such as reducing levels of poverty, ending hunger on the continent, and promoting food security and economic development, Ghana must invest in irrigation infrastructure such as the construction of the Kwalu multi-purpose dam in the northeast region to provide water to over 15,000 smallholder farmers for all year-round farming. Ghana must also prioritize the current registration of smallholder farmers by deploying more national service personnel to assist mobile extension officers to carry out the exercise to build a comprehensive database for the farmers, which is part of the requirement to benefit from the PFJ 2.0 input credit system. This is very crucial because the farmers are waiting for the inputs considering the fact that the rainy season has started and farmers can no longer wait for the delay registration to be completed.
Beatrice Adu Awal is the president of Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is calling on all actors and stakeholders within the agricultural value chain to collaborate to accelerate progress towards achieving the comprehensive Africa Agricultural Development Program, which is determined to halve Africa's poverty levels in the next 10 years and ensure food and nutritional security.
It is very important that we make these commitments for the next 10 years as a team, and our commitments are going to bind us for the next 10 years. That implies that our activities, our actions, our programs, our plans would have to be domesticated to fit into the particular commitments we agree on. This is the only way that we will be able to work together as a team by harmonizing our action. The sector has been plagued with duplication of action because coordination and collaboration has not been the best. As the cohesive action we had in the past looks like it's doing things. The ministry on our part is making efforts to pick this up and to improve upon what we already have. And this ties us to the issue about mutual accountability of actions. When we agree, we should be ready to work together and be accountable to one another.
And that will be all for Business Daily with me, Bismarck. Also, for more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Thanks for your company. Urban Blend continues with Black Rasta. Do stay.